Hello and welcome, Soul Tribe, my family. Thank you so much for tuning in to Peace in a Pod. I'm Loretta, and for those that are returning listeners, thank you so much for returning and joining us today. And for any new listeners, welcome and thank you for being here. So today I wanted to give a little bit of a backstory of why I created the podcast in the first place, and how I've gotten to a place of unbothered. So initially, when I created the podcast, I was having some experiences that back at the time, I looked at them more as challenges, setbacks, just struggles. But I was having some experiences with my supervisor, and I was struggling with how to handle the situation and to keep a good headspace and keep my joy and not allow that to interfere with my day-to-day life. And one day I decided to have a conversation with her to address how she was treating me and, just try to bring it to her attention because maybe she wasn't aware of how she was behaving toward me. So I had the conversation, and she pretty much disregarded my feelings and didn't see anything wrong with the behavior of how she was treating me. And she actually never took accountability for the behavior, and she pretty much tried to justify her behavior. So at that point, I was pretty much done with trying to have conversations with her because I knew that she was who she was, and there wasn't much that I could do on changing her because she wasn't going to acknowledge how she was behaving. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, how can a person be this way toward another person? And how can a supervisor behave this way and think that it's okay? And I'm also thinking, like, I would never treat anyone that way. And the moment that I thought that I would never treat anyone that way, that was when things kind of registered for me. And this happened very recently. This year it happened. And I was kind of in this place where I knew I couldn't change who she is and how she is. It was more of like, the only thing I can do is adjust my responses and interactions with her. I couldn't allow her to have the power of getting a reaction out of me. So I started tailoring my responses to her to not really, for one, I didn't engage with her as much, but I started changing my responses and reactions to her, which helped a lot. But that thought of me not treating people, that I would never treat someone that way, was the part that kind of stuck with me. And it made me think about, well, I am creating these expectations for this person who isn't aware of the expectations I've created for her. So now she's not living up to my expectations, even though she doesn't know what they are. And I'm getting disappointed by her behavior. So I decided to remove any and all expectations, zero expectations of how she's going to respond, how she's going to interact, how she's going to react to anything. I had it very clear in my head that I was going to approach her with this is how she is. She will never take accountability for her actions. I understand that. That's not the type of person that she is. I will hear and acknowledge what she is saying, even if I don't agree with it. I hear it, I acknowledge it, I understand that is who she is, and she does not have to live up to the expectations that I have set for her. And the moment I started applying that approach, I have gotten to this place of unbothered. Just, I don't know, it's almost like I'm just numb when I interact with her. There's like no feeling, no nothing. And to be honest with you, it is the most freeing feeling I've ever felt in such a long time. And I'm very proud that I've gotten to this point. I'm a little irritated it took me so long to get here, but I am extremely proud that I have gotten to the point where I can interact with this woman and feel absolutely nothing. And to not be disappointed, annoyed, or worried or agitated by any of the things that she says with or does, it was just a freeing feeling, and I love it. I wish that I could have gotten to that place so much sooner. But now when I go to work, when I sign on to my computer, I am just, whenever she says something, I see it, I acknowledge it, and I understand that that is how she is, and there is nothing that I can do to change her. I accept how she responds, and I hold zero expectations of how I think she should respond or behave. And taking those expectations off of someone frees you. And I think that if more of us approached people that we find difficult to interact with, or that we interact and then become annoyed or let down because they didn't respond the way that we think that they should have responded, maybe try taking your expectations off of them. Because how you may handle a situation, how you may react, that's your expectations of what you think and how they should react, which may not be how they're thinking, which is why they're not responding and reacting that way. So remove the expectations and see how you feel after that interaction. Try it out and come back, leave a comment. Let me know how you felt afterwards. And just let me know if you feel freed and unbothered by the situation. Also, I created a email account for this podcast. So if there are any specific topics that you would like for me to address, feel free to leave them in the comments or shoot me an email, and you'll be able to find the email located in the description box. And I'll set up an episode and we'll talk more in depth about it. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Peace in a Pod, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Peace in a Pod. Please do comment, like, follow, share, rate, subscribe, all of those things. And I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.